Hi Gadget UK here, just a really quick video. I'm using Mac OS X 10.6.8 I think. It's quite an old version. I could upgrade it. I don't want to because it's going to mess up my iPhone development stuff on there that I started a number of years back. What I'm doing is replacing the hard disk internally with an SSD. So the SSD is connected to this adapter here. It's a SATA to USB. I think it's probably USB 3. I'm not sure. It could be USB 2. This Mac's only going to support USB 2 anyway. And then I went to the Carbon Copy Clone website. You can download the last old version that works with 10.6.8, which I've got here. It does come up saying it's a trial when you first run it. It'll only work for 30 days, but it's fully featured. So that's the way I've had to go with this, just for the purpose of migrating this from the, doing a clone of the hard disk, the internal hard disk, to the SSD. So that's been cloning. You can see the progress bars just getting towards the back end there. As soon as that finishes, I think the only thing I need to do then is take the Mac to pieces, stick the SSD drive in there, and change the boot options and things. I'm not sure how you do that. I think you hold down the option key, so we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. I might just test booting from the external drive, because you can do the same thing with that with certain versions of Mac OS X. I think old PowerPC stuff doesn't support it. But if you've got an Intel CPU and you're on 10.6.8, I think in theory, if you hold down the option key on boot with the drive connected there, the external drive, it should give me the option to boot from this here OS. This is the external drive, the yellow one here. There's a step I missed here. You've got to initialize the drive, but that's easy because when you plug the drive in to start with, it comes up saying it's uninitialized, do you want to deal with it kind of thing, and you choose yes, and it kind of goes into like the equivalent of Disk Manager for the Mac there, and you can just go into the partitions a bit and create one new partition, just make it the whole size of the drive, or you could create a few partitions if you wanted to. That takes only a few minutes and you're done. Anyway, this is just a vlog sort of thing. There's plenty of videos out there covering this sort of thing, but I thought I'd just cover this while I'm doing it. So the next thing I need to do here now is carefully remove all of the screws from the underside, I think, and then the bottom should come off, and hopefully we can seat the drive there. I'm paying attention to the length of these screws. I might just lay them out around the sides of the unit in case any at a different length. Those look the same length. Yeah, so I've put the screws at the sides here. The base just lifts off there, look, and here's the hard drive down here. So the thing I would point out is the screws here, there's like 3 screws at the back here, those are the long ones, and then all the other ones around the sides are smaller. So in order to get the hard drive out, I'm not entirely sure at this stage. I mean, obviously use this here to lift it up, but it's obviously attached here. Might need to remove the battery in order to get this out, I think. Yeah, some of the guides online suggest removing the battery connector here, disconnecting the battery. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to literally remove the hard disk bracket screws here. I'm not sure whether this bit then comes up. Yeah, it does, look, the screws as well. And then hopefully the hard drive, look at that, straight out. Nice and easy. You've got to be careful with the connector here, look, this is the SATA connector. Just carefully pull it on one side and then the other. There we go, there's our hard drive out. We'll put that into an external enclosure, use that as a backup boot drive, I think. Now the thing with this now, is this going to be the same size? Yeah, it might need these bolts. Yeah, I think it's going to need these bolts here, unscrewing from the old drive and fit into the new one. They look like Torx, I think. So using the Torx screwdriver here, this is the same size for getting inside Xbox One controllers, I think. Just carefully putting these in. I don't like the way these bolts, they seem to go a bit further, but then again there's a screw mount there, look, so yeah, it feels tight at that point is the point I'm trying to make. There we go, that's in. So that's one side done. Just need to get the ones off the other side now. There's 2. Technically speaking, you could remove this and stick this on the side of the drive there. But you know what, I'm not going to bother, because it's pretty easy to lift this out anyway. Again, they tighten up. As soon as you get to that far in, it feels tight. Now, there's no PCB blocking it. It is just the sides of the chassis there. And obviously, the reason I'm doing this is obviously I run out of disk space, but not only are these faster, but they're more reliable. The hard disk has been in this unit since, I don't know, 2008, something like that. And it's been on my mind for a while, thinking, whilst I back it up, what happens if it fails? It's just going to be a real problem. So if we now carefully connect the SATA connector back on there again, like that, and it's going to mount sort of like this here, I think. Yeah, there you go, those little things go into the little gaps there, and then you can see there's like a semicircle orange part there that's going to act as a little clamp and hold that in place. So if we just carefully hold that in position and try and get these screws back in, then we can get the lid back on and try and boot it. I don't know whether it's just going to automatically boot from this or whether we'll need to hold the option key down and do something along those lines. But I'm surprised at how easy that was actually. So I'm doing the same thing I always do, which is to, you know, put the screw into the hole there, turn it the wrong way until it clicks, like that, and then turn the right way so you don't cross thread it, and don't over tighten these. So that's all the screws in position. So let's give it a go. I don't know, as I say, whether it's going to boot straight away. It's very dirty this, I'll clean it in a minute. Or whether it's going to come up with an error or what. I've got no idea. It's my first time changing out and driving one of these. Yeah, I suspect we're going to need to hold down the option key or something to, I don't know, change the boot settings or something. Yeah, interestingly, that did boot up. I'll just try it again now, another power cycle. It took a while, but I'm guessing it might be quicker on a subsequent boot. The way I solve that is hold down Option, Command, at the same time, try and do it with the thumb, P and R, and power it on. And then when it powers on, I'll show you, just wait for it to start, wait for it to go black screen again. As soon as it goes black screen, second time, let go, the first time, sorry, let go. Then when it reboots, you'll see it goes straight from the white screen now, very quickly into the Apple icon. That was taking, I don't know, 40, 50, 60 seconds before, and then it'll go straight to the login screen. So I've noticed a huge speed boost there, and that's working, fantastic. So then what I've got here is a cheap USB 3 external case. So, you know, you get this little PCB, it just plugs into the drive there, that provides your USB 3 connector. The one thing I was a bit worried about, there's no mounts or anything. If you look inside there, this just floats around inside there, but the underside of the drive is kind of, it's supported off here, you know, so whilst this PC's got conductive pads here that you shouldn't touch, it's yeah, it's raised up a little bit by the mounting points there. So I think the likelihood of something shorting is slim to none. But you just need to just carefully then push that in there, seat that in there, and just get a screw in each corner there. And then we'll just connect this up and make sure that this can be read by the Mac. And the drive's connected up to the Mac there. And as you can see, we've got two drives there. I've got the boot camp because I've got an XP partition on that drive, and the Macintosh hard disk. So the next part of this vlog, believe it or not, is filmed 3 years later. Yeah, I stuck the SSD in there just after I lost my job. You know, I used some vouchers actually, leaving money. Just a little bit of contributions that the guys at the office contributed. So yeah, I put that towards an SSD. That was fitted in here. I used this to edit the videos on my channel for, well, up until about early 2020. It was like February or March 2020, I think. Just as COVID struck. Anyway, I then transitioned onto my new Ryzen PC. And this Mac has just been used to support various things, really. It's a bit dirty and stuff, but anyway, it runs really well. But of course it was an old OS, because this is a 2010 Mac OS, mid-2010. I used it for Coco's 2D iPhone development, you know, Xcode, etc. That stuff's still on there. I didn't want to update it, and I only had one option in terms of upgrade. I could go from, I can't remember what was on it, was it Snow Leopard or something daft like that? And I could only go up to El Capitan. Well, in the last week, I put El Capitan on there and spent hours and hours and hours messing around, like updating software and stuff to make it work. And you know what? It runs really well now. It runs even better than it did with the previous OS, but it's only got 4 gig of RAM. So yeah, I've got two 4 gig memory modules here. They're about £16 each. These, not too bad to upgrade to 8 meg. If you've got the late 2010 MacBook, you could put 16 gig in. Did I say meg? They aren't 4 meg, they're 4 gig. Yeah, 8 gig, upgrade to 8 gig. So, yeah, we need to do the same thing we did with the SSD, get all the screws out, pull the base off, and then we should be able to get to the SIM slots, hopefully. and just reminding myself, actually, got a big one there, a big one there, and a big one there, and the one on the left of the rear is a small one. All the other screws are small, short ones, so yeah, I don't remember. You will, because you'll have seen it a minute ago. I don't remember to get this up now, just lift it, I think, carefully. There we go, that's that off. Now I'm a bit concerned because one of the sims is on the underside here. Do we have to take the main board out to update the RAM? Oh, that's going to be painful. Anyway, let's try and get the RAM out. I'm guessing we just pull these. There we go. That's that one. Please let me be able to get to... I've got the wrist strap on, by the way. Please let me be able to get to the one below. How does this come out now? There we go, just like a gentle rock, I think. I'm hoping this goes the same way. I don't think it does, you know. I think that tilts downwards. No, it doesn't. It goes upwards. That is a relief. Of course, you've got to just use the same clips by the looks of things. I'm honestly not sure how to get this side here to unclip and then... I don't know, it feels like it's not supposed to go that way. It feels like it's not supposed to go that way, if I'm honest. It feels like it's supposed to go out downwards. Just blowing a bit of dust off that as well. Yeah, I can't get down there, and I can't seem to get that side. Oh, there we go, side out. So let's just carefully try and pull. There we go, it is coming out. Wow, that was a bit scary. Probably not if you've done it before, but anyway. Let's just have a bit of a blow in there. Right, so wrist strap still on. We need to open this. I try and cut these as straight as I can, and they can reuse the bag. Let's get that out. It was the short side to left, and obviously we need to do the underneath one first. So yeah, you can see the print on that there, 4 gig DDR3, 1066 megahertz SODIMM. Don't really see a brand or anything on there, but anyway. So yeah, it's the gap towards this side, so I've got to somehow now work out how to get this into that bottom slot. That's it. Actually, that was easier than I thought. That's one in. Do the same with this one. That's it, pushed in and pushed down. I think that should be it. So I'm just going to loosely fit the back if I can. Got this right way, yeah. And then flip it over and power it on. We may get some sort of error now. You know, you've got the configuration RAM, haven't you, in these? Is it P RAM or something? I can't remember what it's called now. PS RAM, something like that. So that may need resetting. Anyway, let's just do this together. I'll switch it on. Well, that's a good sign. Yeah, the fact it's booting is a good sign as well. You know, the actual progress bar here. It's a shame it wasn't the late 2010 model, because then I could have had 16 gig. So, booted up, desktop up, woohoo. Let's have a look in activity monitor. Where's the memory? Yeah, physical memory, 8 gig. Yay! It's a success.
Different players.
Yeah, so it'll do 720p on YouTube and stuff. Pretty good, really. So yeah, it's useful for browsing and just getting out of a pickle should my main PC have an issue. Yeah, and these screws, they kind of tilt. The ones at the back aren't tilted so much, but like the other ones, you sort of, you know, when you put these side ones in here, you don't screw it straight down. You put it in at a slight angle like that, and then it goes flush. Had forgotten about that. So yeah, one or two of them I just struggled a little bit, just trying to get it in exactly the right position. Don't over tighten these, but at the same time, don't leave them slack, whatever you do. So yeah, all of the screws are back in, all done. So much later, working perfectly with the SSD. thanks to my ex-work colleagues, because as I said earlier, you know, that was part of my redundancy. So when I got made redundant, they all got together and they did get me enough vouchers and things when I left as a leaving present to allow me to buy that SSD. And it seemed to make sense at the time because I just lost my job. I'd run out of space on this and I knew I needed to do this with my channel. I used this Mac all the way up to 2020. So I mean, if I have a look at this now, you can see what I updated it to in terms of OS. Yeah, so we're on El Capitan. I think that's the highest I can go, version 10.11.6. And as I say, it's 13-inch mid 2010. It's only running at 2.4 gigahertz here, an Intel Core 2 Duo. I did wonder if there was some way to overclock this. I think there is. I think you've got to try and download something to do that. I'm not really sure where to get it from. Yeah, and we got 8 gig, and it's only DDR3, running at just over a gigahertz there. So yeah, it's not especially fast. And in terms of video, this was fitted with an NVIDIA GeForce 320M, 256 meg. So yeah, not very capable, but it's more than capable of editing the 720p video that I've been doing, and maybe 1080p as well. But I mean, just for reference, when I used to render a video on this, an hour-long video would take 2 or 3 hours to render, and then I'd have to upload it. On the new Ryzen 9 PC that I got, which is, you know, finally I upgraded my PC, finally moved from XP to Windows 10 in 2020 when I decommissioned this. And an hour-long video, it takes about 3 or 4 minutes to render. There's a huge difference. And I was just using iMovie here. Yeah, just using the standard iMovie built in. And then I think I used Handbrake to sort of pre-process or post-process the video into a better compression ratio and stuff afterwards. Something else to point out here as well, is I recently had this problem where I left this powered on and then I shut it down, but I didn't shut it down properly. I just put it in standby and then I put the Mac away. 2 or 3 weeks later I came to use it and it was completely flat, and on the battery icon up here we had a triangle. It said warning, needs Apple service, needs a new battery, needs a new battery. It's like, and it kept telling me every time. I was really distressed, thinking, oh my god, I need a new battery, you know, it's what am I going to do? And of course you just get a new battery, but the point is, I reckon this battery is only halfway through its life. It's had about 250 charge cycles and they should get about 500, and it was just the fact that the battery had gone so low it completely flatlined. So even though it started to charge back up and charge cycles were working, I still had this little triangle symbol appearing up here, and all I did is literally power cycle, you know, drain the battery, yeah, use it for a few hours, flatten it again, charge it all the way up, use it for 3 or 4 hours, and each time it gets slightly more charge. And the other thing I did at the same time as that, to get rid of that triangle error thing, the warning on the battery, I think I went into preferences here. Is this where I went? Yeah, I did, and I found the power one. There's one here for power management. I can't bloody see it now for the life of me. And it's just like the properties that it reads, you know, and uses to store and stuff. And I deleted it, and then at the point when I did that, the triangle icon disappeared. But then it would come back after about a week. It came back again, and I come back in and delete that file. And then just after, I don't know, several more power cycles, you know, charge cycles, I mean, it went away. So my battery's all right now, and you know, I can see that if I look at the about bit. If I just go into that. Yeah, going into the system information part here, you can see actually the number of charge cycles, cycle count 237, condition normal. Yeah, this was saying, you know, service, needs Apple service, needs a new battery. Yeah, and everything there is pretty good. You know, it shows you charge remaining 4609, full charge capacity in milliamp hours, 4775. So yeah, it's running really, really well. Anyway, I do hope you found that video interesting. If you'd like to support the channel, please see Coffee and Patreon links down below. Catch you in the next video. Yeah, I've noticed a huge spood beast. Yeah, so I've noticed a huge spood beast there. Yeah, so I've noticed a huge spood. Spood? What's a spood?